Hello magical makers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Nicole of Woven Tales Designs, and in today's video we are having another magical maker roundup. Today is Mother's Day themed, and I am very excited to present to you 15 Mother's Day ideas and themed patterns that you could use and add magic to your own library in your own way. There is a good variety. I have 5 different categories. There is going to be a mix of free and paid because there are many different budgets in our maker world here. If something is listed as a paid pattern, it will be in 3 different categories. So we have the $1 to $5 range, the $6 to $10 range, and then the $11 to $15 range. And that is generally how I like to group them because people have sales, so you can't really keep track of the full prices at all times. So that is what I do here with the paid versions. Everything that I mentioned today will be listed in the description below. And bonus today, you don't have to hop around to many different types of websites or things. I actually have listed everything in a Ravelry bundle. I was able to find all of these via Ravelry, which I find to be a nice relief because sometimes Etsy be ridden with AI stuff. So we're getting a break from that today. We're just doing a Ravelry pattern roundup for Mother's Day. I hope you're excited. I myself am a mother. My son is 3 years old. I am a boy mom, and I am living my best life right now as he's gaining his independence, and I'm getting a little bit more of my time back so I can come back and hang out with you guys here on YouTube. So let's get into today's roundup and going off with our very first category, which is bags. So when it comes to bags, I'm not talking about handbags, things that you can take on a cute little brunch date, because let's be honest, moms that are active in their kids' life don't always have time for things like that. So the bags that I'm presenting to you today are bags that I envision if I were to gift this to my own friends that are moms or just make one for myself. This is a bag that I am taking to the park, to the indoor playground, to, I don't know, parent-teacher meetings, to things that I just need a little bit of me in the bag, whether it's a whip to work on, something that can fit like a can of my favorite, you know, beverage, or maybe let's say something I can take to the beach that I can carry my book, or just, I'm envisioning this to be a mom on the go type of bag that is easy to grab and go. So this is what I'm envisioning for this. If I were to have this made for a friend, I would imagine myself, and this is every single category, I'm going to give you the rundown on the ideas that I have in my mind if I were to make this for a friend. I would definitely make one of these bags up. I would put surprises into the bag that I think would go along with their lifestyle. So I would text my friend, and if I didn't remember, and say, hey, what's your favorite can of pop? Maybe a bag of their favorite like chocolates. And then I would probably put in there as well like a brush and like a nail file, like things that they can take with them on the go if they're out and like they've taken everything for their kids but then forget about themselves. That is what I'm putting in this bag. I know when I go to the park, I take a whip with me. I got my drink in there. I got my keys. I got my phone. I got everything in this little bag, but I hate taking and lugging the big diaper bag because it is just clunky and I don't want to have to like heave it over my shoulders. Without further ado, let's dive into these patterns. The very first pattern in this roundup for the bag category, we have the Bouquet bag by De Brosé. This is a beautiful, simple bag. I believe it's that Japanese style where the straps go through a part of the bag and then you're able to just hold it onto your wrist, or you can pull the straps out and hold it over your shoulder or your arm. So this is really lovely. This is worked up in a chunky weight yarn with a very small hook, with a 4mm hook. So this is definitely gonna be a sturdy bag. I believe they used Lion Brand Rewind was the suggested yarn. This is definitely a cool bag. This is a paid pattern. This is in our $6 to $10 range. So that if that is up your alley, then this is a great way to go. I just love the simplicity of it and kind of like that accordion closure in the top. There's no buttons, there's no snaps. I'm sure you can add some if you'd like, but I think this is a very simple bag that will go with a lot of moms' styles, whether you have like the boho mom, the preppy mom, but I believe that this can go with a lot of women's different styles. And De Brosé, I've been told, has really, really great patterns. Their quality is amazing. It's very clear instruction. Wonderful pattern. Again, this is found on my Ravelry bundle. Everything is going to be in one link in the description below, so don't go looking for a full long list. You will not see it. Ain't nobody got time to look at that list anyway in the description. But this is really chic, simple, and a perfect project bag or everyday tote. Great way to start our first pattern in the roundup here. This is the Bouquet bag by De Brosé. The second pattern in our roundup for the bag category is going to be the Tobago bag by Toni Lipsey of TL Yarn Crafts. She is one of those women that just gets color combinations, and rightfully so, because she has her own line of yarn with Hobie, I believe. But this bag is super special. I love the drawstring on it with the bead at the end. I think that's a really pretty touch. This is made using, I believe, a kind of like hexagon granny square construction. They do have color blocking, and I think it looks like every 3 rows they're changing to a new color, which I actually think is really fun. It keeps the pattern interesting. It keeps you engaged as a maker. This is worked up with worsted weight yarn or medium weight yarn using a 3.5 and a 4mm hook. I would imagine one is used for the bag body and the other is used for the straps and the I-cord. It's a good size. It's not too big, but it's also not too small. The first bag that we featured was a little bit on the smaller side. One of the pictures just had 2 skeins of yarn in it. So this one has a little bit more in width and length as well. The strap is also nice because this is an over the shoulder strap, so that is going to give you a different length. And it does say that the suggested yarn for this was Lion Brand's 24/7 cotton, which I know is a very popular yarn amongst the crochet community. Very trusted. Cotton does not let us down. She describes it as a crossbody bag that's just big enough to hold your summer essentials, sunglasses, keys, a good book, and some sunscreen, which is all things that we are going for here in this roundup for the bag category. So beautiful pattern. The second pattern in our roundup, the Tobago bag by Toni Lipsey of TL Yarn Crafts. The last pattern in our bag roundup of the Mother's Day patterns is the Rosette Drawstring bag. This is a pattern that, hint hint, if any of my crocheter friends made this for me, even though I know how to crochet, I would probably shed a tear receiving it. It is so beautiful. It's a dainty little crossbody bag. I really love the stitch style and patterning. It looks like almost like a shell stitch on there. I adore the simplicity of the bottom of it, and then the cords for the straps I think are lovely. Something for me that I've just noticed over the years, if I'm gonna take a bag with me, I prefer a skinnier strap. I think it's because I have a smaller frame, and having a wide strap on my shoulder is just like, ugh, it's like another thing on my shoulder. So I do appreciate here that the drawstrings are, that the cords and straps of the bag are a little bit on the thinner side. If we're looking at the stats for this, this is in the $1 to $5 range for the paid patterns. This is made with a medium weight yarn using a 3.25 and a 2mm hook. So get your hands ready for some tight tension with this, but I think that will in turn give you a very structured bag. This is also suggesting you use Lion Brand 24/7 cotton, so I love that. Oh, and I didn't even say who this is by. Oh my goodness. This is all about Ami. They are known far and wide for their innovative designs, clean, simple aesthetic, and just all around approachable crochet patterns. They have this on their website for free. So even though this is listed on Ravelry as a paid pattern in that $1 to $5 range, it is actually available for free on their website, allaboutami.com. Oh, it looks like from the pictures there are 2 different sizes of this bag. It looks to be like a smaller kind of like pocketbook size, and then a slightly larger, I would say probably like maybe like 30% larger sized bag, which is great to know. It is more on the feminine side, so if you got that kind of like tomboyish mom, I don't really think this would fit their style, but I loved throwing it in the mix. Again, I would want to receive this one. This one to me is my aesthetic. Beautiful last bag in our roundup for the mom bags. This is the Rosette Drawstring bag by All About Ami. The next pattern category that we are getting into is another kind of mom on the go type of category. One that my generation, I believe, has completely adopted as a part of our identity. This is the iced coffee cozy category. If I were to vision board this and I wanted to do a fun idea for Mother's Day for any of my moms out there, I would probably make one of these, get them a cute little like simple glass straw, glass cup, bamboo lid, one of those easy iced coffee cups. And then I would get them a little ice cube tray that has fun shapes for ice cubes. and I would probably throw in a packet of my favorite coffee for them. And that way at home they can make their own iced coffee. They got the fancy cubes to go in there and make their coffee just a little bit more special, a little bit more aesthetic pleasing. And then if you want to top it off even more, you can throw in a gift card to their favorite coffee shop. I know Starbucks is very popular. I've kind of quit Starbucks ages ago, but if you could even throw in just like 10 bucks and say, hey, this is for your coffee fund. This can also though work for if you have a mom that's not a coffee drinker, but they do like iced tea or pop, or they like matcha. Caffeinated care package. That is the title of this idea for your mom friend. I think that's so great. So these cozies are ones that are longer in length, that some of them that go underneath the bottom of the cup to catch all that condensation. So you're also not getting a pool of liquid in your cup holder in your vehicle or just in general on your countertops. Nobody wants that. So iced coffee cozies. Let's talk about these. I have three patterns for you. The very first one is a very fun, I love the name of this pattern. It's called the How You Brewin' Iced Coffee Cozy. It's really cool. Great stitch definition here, great texture. This pattern is offered with 3 different written instruction sets, and that is because it gives you different pattern instructions for different types of yarn that they suggest. So it is working with more of an Aran weight yarn, which is slightly thicker than a medium weight worsted weight yarn. And the hook sizes that are there are for 6mm, 6.5mm, and 5mm. Those are the hook sizes that they have in their pattern. This is suggesting you either use Hobby Lobby I Love This Cotton, Bernat Maker Home Deck, or Yarn Bee's Comfy Classics. Really, really great that they give you options for different types of yarn. So if you're stash diving for this and you happen to have something that is similar to either of those 3 and you can match gauge, I think you're gonna have a success on your hands. This is the How You Brewin' Iced Coffee Cozy by Silver Maple Stitches. Very cute pattern to start our iced coffee pattern portion of this roundup. The next pattern in our iced coffee cozy roundup portion of this roundup is the Oceana Iced Cup Cozy. This is a very lovely stitch pattern. You've heard me speak volumes in the last roundup when I did with the axolotls here. I love when I cannot tell how they made the pattern. I love when I cannot recognize a stitch pattern and know, not because it's AI and it just doesn't even look like a stitch in the first place, but I really love when they have me guessing as towards the construction or the type of stitches in combination that they used. I really love that. This pattern is offering you also different looks with, you can add some patches to the front, which I think is another great idea to customize this for your future. This is the first free pattern in our roundup today. This is a beautiful, cute, nice little pattern. I like that the stitch pattern on the bottom of the cup is not the same as the stitch pattern that goes around the cup. I think that's important for the density to be a little bit stronger at the bottom so that it doesn't wear out and get holes in it or unravel over time. This is suggesting Hobby Lobby's I Love This yarn in their solids, and I think that's great. So you can probably use anything in your stash with this. Most people have a lot of medium weight yarn, and they are using a 5mm crochet hook. Standard procedure. We all learn to crochet with one of those. If you are someone that didn't learn how to crochet with a medium weight yarn and a 5mm hook, leave a comment down below in the description. I'd love to know who you are and how you started your crochet journey if it wasn't with that, because I don't know how you learn to crochet with anything else. But this is the Oceana Iced Cup Cozy by Crafts by Sarah Liz. The last iced coffee cozy we have is a pattern by Stitchberry. This is simply titled the Iced Coffee Cozy. This to me is a very beautiful but simple design. If you are more on the beginner side and you would like something that is less crazy to look at, like the first 2 that I put out there, because there was a lot of stitch definition and patterning in the stitch combinations, this would be more on your side as a maker. So if you really want to give something handmade but you're not as confident because you're still working out what it is crocheting the round and all the things that come with learning crochet, I think this would be a perfect approachable design for you. This is using Knit Picks Dishy. This yarn is a medium weight yarn pattern. This is worked up using a 4mm hook, so a little bit tighter tension in this. There is one size with instructions on how to adapt this to other sizes. So that's a really great thing to know. If you want to make it for a different type of cup, or a cup with a longer body or a shorter body, I think that this would be super easy to adapt. And this is a free pattern, so you've got nothing to lose. This is the Iced Coffee Cozy by Stitchberry. Very pretty pattern. All right, the next pattern category in our roundup for Mother's Day is the self-care category. Now, this isn't a very big category. Most of the time when people think of self-care, it's usually stuff to do with hygiene and just smelling and feeling good. And in my opinion, I think crochet adds a lot of value to this category because you are able to make something look more when it's made with nice cottons and just like pretty three-tone palettes. So the main patterns in this part of the roundup are going to be spa sets. I just want to give you that disclaimer now. The self-care category is only for spa sets today in the roundup. If I were to put this together for a friend, if I have somebody, maybe someone that just had a baby and I really want to give them something special for the baby shower, I want to give them a big pack of diapers for their baby, and then I want to give them a little spa set. This will be your chance to go and find your local farmer's market and go buy some of that goat's milk soaps, aromatherapy, reed diffusers, or this is totally, you can make a whole bathroom experience. Put it in a cute basket that you find at the thrift store, or you can just buy somewhere if you want. But yes, the sky is the limit with what you can include in your spa set baskets, and this already gets you off on the right foot. You could even go find the spa items you want first and then crochet and pick your yarn colors based off of those spa items. So I think there's so many things that you can do with this. I absolutely love the idea of gifting a spa set. A little bit of pampering goes a long way with mothers and across every age group. I don't care who you are, every woman loves to feel pampered. So here we go, let's dive right into this spa set roundup portion with our very first pattern. So the very first pattern in this spa set roundup portion of today's Mother's Day patterns is the Tea Rose spa set. This is by a very good friend of mine. You've heard about her in some of my other pattern roundups. This is Jade of Sweet Softies. She has made this spa set and I honestly think it is the most Pinterest perfect type of spa set I've ever seen. I also love her color choices in the sample pieces here. I'm a pink girl, I don't care. You're getting 3 different types of face scrubbies. You're getting a soap saver, so it's that little like mesh sleeve that you can put a bar of soap in, so you can actually get the soap to last you longer because you're not consistently running it over water. It is able to lather better in these things, and then you have a simple washcloth for the face and a loofah. Tons of different styles with the colors here. They are suggesting that you use lily, sugar, and cream solids for the yarn, but I would imagine any medium weight cotton-based yarn would work well for this. I wouldn't go with acrylic-based yarns for these particular sets of patterns because they're things that you're using with water. You need it to be absorbent and then able to dry quickly. This is using a 6mm J hook for this, so really lovely. This is in our $1 to $5 pattern category, but I believe she has most of her patterns on her blog for free. So if you're looking for the free version, it is totally available. She also has a lot of stuff on her YouTube channel, if I can remember correctly. So I believe that she would have this in many different ways depending on your learning style. Wonderful way to start off our self-care part of this pattern roundup. This is the Tea Rose Spa Set by Sweet Softies. The next pattern in our spa set roundup, this is the Mother's Day Spa Kit by Premier Yarns design team. This is a free pattern. It is lovely. This is by the company Premier, the one that makes all of the lovely chenille yarn we love. This is worked up again with a cotton-based yarn. In this pattern spa kit, you're going to get an eye mask, you're going to get a washcloth, and then you're going to get the face scrubbies. I think it's a great different mix of things where you're getting the eye mask in there, because not only is it nice to get pampered, but it's also nice to take a nap sometimes too. So having a sleep mask, I'm an avid user of a sleep mask. I am one of those people, I'm so sensitive to lighting, so if the sun comes up before I am ready to get up, my brain is immediately like, oh hi, I guess we're awake, even though I'm still bone tired. So I love a good eye mask. I wish there were more pictures of this, but unfortunately it's just the one picture. I think they just chose the one picture with all the things in the same picture, but this is an easy level pattern. This is using medium weight yarn, I believe. It says Aran weight yarn here, but I feel like it's medium weight yarn. They're calling for a 5mm hook, and it is suggesting the Home Cotton Solids and Maris by Premier Yarns. If you're looking for a spa kit with a couple of different things and maybe weren't loving fully what was in Sweet Softies spa kit, this one is another great option for you as well. And it's for free. This is the Mother's Day spa kit by Premier Yarns design team. The last pattern in our spa set roundup portion of today's pattern roundup is the Cordelia Spa Set by Debbie Field. This is another really pretty type of stitch pattern. This looks like they're using the granny stitch for various parts of the pattern. It looks like they're also using the third loop only when it comes to the face scrubbies there. I really think this is a nice different type of stitch pattern. This looks to me a little more rustic chic, I would say. And I do love that you have three things in here. We have the face scrubby, we have the soap saver, and then we have the washcloth. Three simple, basic, perfect things, but I really love it. I think it's really nice. It's again using a medium weight yarn. This is Lion Brand's 24/7 cotton. So I think this is the third pattern in this roundup that uses this same exact yarn. This is calling for a 5mm hook, and this is a paid pattern in the $1 to $5 range. This says you can handle this if you're an adventurous beginner. I love their description. Introducing the Cordelia Spa Set, an eco-friendly yet luxurious solution for your beauty routine. This exquisite set includes a subtly textured washcloth, a stylish soap cozy, and a gentle face scrubby, all designed to add a touch of opulence to your daily self-care ritual. Made with soft cotton yarn, the set ensures a gentle yet effective cleanse, leaving your skin feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. What a description. I'm about to ask her to write all of my pattern descriptions because that is awesome. But again, wonderful pattern, another great type of look and aesthetic in our spa sets. Let's move on to the next category, but that was the Cordelia Spa Set by Debbie Field. Okay, so our next category for our pattern roundup for Mother's Day, this is devoted to our reading mothers. You can also use these things for if you have notebooks, if you keep a planner, if you're someone that just has something with physical pages in front of you, this is the category for that, mom. These are the bookmarks. Now, if I were to envision the perfect type of gift for Mother's Day, this would be a very simple thing to gift that I still think would be effective. What I would do is I would go and find something sweet, like one of those 365 tearaway calendars that have, like, you know, a quote a day, or maybe like, you know, get more positive in 3 months, you know, something that promotes strong mental health in women. That is an encouraging type of book. I would pick something like that for my friends. I would make this bookmark, and then I would leave a note inside the book with the bookmark and say, I hope you can use this to keep your place and know that every stitch was made with love for you. You can maybe leave them their favorite tea bag as well if they're a tea drinker at night, because I know everyone usually stops drinking caffeine after a certain time of the day. Most people do. I know I forget sometimes. But if you leave them with kind of like a book time type of kind of like care package for Mother's Day, I think that could be really, really sweet. Or maybe you know kinds of books they like and you want to get them something in their next lineup. Maybe they have that Libby app and they have like a full list of books that they are favoriting, or they have Goodreads. They have the Goodreads app and they have things saved in their favorites list, and you want to go ahead and buy that next book for them that they have on queue. That is another great thing to do. So let's get into our first pattern for the book and notebook keeping moms in our roundup. The very first pattern in our roundup today is the lace bookmark, and this is by Crochet Bits Com. This is really pretty. I like the twisted cord at the bottom of the bookmark. I think that open lace work in that little piece is so pretty. Now, if you're someone that doesn't like working with thin yarn, I don't know if this is going to be the pattern for you, because this is calling for Aunt Lydia's crochet thread. That's a lace weight category, I should say. It's 3 is the size of the crochet thread. I know that they have their own number system with that, but this is using a 2mm hook. So this is a thin yarn project. If this is not exactly going to agree with your hands and your fingers and your own personal attention, I would say maybe wait for the next bookmark in the roundup. But this, I believe, is really pretty. It's in our $1 to $5 range for that paid pattern price, and it's simply beautiful. I think this would actually really impress somebody. Really pretty pattern in our first bookmark here. This is the lace bookmark by Crochet Bits Com. I feel like I hinted towards this next pattern a little bit ago here. This is the Lil Tea Bag. This is a really adorable amigurumi style bookmark, to where the tea bag is the top of the bookmark and the little like paper like bit that hangs out the side of your cup is the other end of the bookmark. This is really cute. I think this this is perfect for, again, that bookish mom, because a lot of people that are book readers are also tea drinkers. They just go hand in hand. It is what it is. You want a nice chai or a chamomile or green tea with your book, and rightfully so, because it just sets the mood, aromatherapy, all those things. I mean, this could technically be included in that self-care category, but we're on another level here with the books here and the notebooks. So beautiful, beautiful, cute little bookmark. This is also coming from a good friend of mine. This is the Cozy Chipmunk. She makes some great patterns, y'all. Really simple, adorable, easy and approachable designs. Very well written. Very, very fun to work up. On another side note, outside of Mother's Day, this would be a really great market make. This is calling for a medium weight yarn. They are using loops and threads impeccable. This is in the 1 to 5 pattern range. Very, very affordable. Another great bookmark look. Something maybe for the mom that's like a little more sense of humor. They like cute little things. There's always those types of moms out there. This is the Lil Tea Bag bookmark by the Cozy Chipmunk. The last pattern in our bookmark portion of this Mother's Day roundup is the Evidence of Hope bookmark by Kirsten Holloway. This is so stunning. A mother's resilience is the evidence of hope. That is what I firmly believe. I'm getting really deep here, but I really love that the title of this bookmark really does match the full look and aesthetic of this bookmark. There, I feel like, is such a, there's gotta be a story behind this bookmark. It's absolutely beautiful. Again, it's got that beautiful kind of like Edwardian, Victorian homage. It's giving me Bridgerton vibes, something that like Penelope Featherington would stick in her book while she reads by the window, watching the ton go by. Like, again, this is gonna be for not the people that like using thinner yarns, because we are going back again to that Aunt Lydia's extra fine crochet thread, size 30. And it's using a 1.15 millimeter hook. So this would also be a great bookmark for people that read their Bible on a regular basis or have like a devotions book. This is another great idea for that. This is considered an intermediate pattern too. So if you're someone that's on the beginner side, I wouldn't necessarily go with this as an option, but I'm kind of thinking about trying this because I actually have a lot of crochet thread in my stash. If you want to see me work up my own version of this, please leave me a comment down below if you want to see me work this up, because if I were to make any of these 3 bookmarks that I showed you, actually I'd probably make all 3 of them, but I would most likely go for this one because this would be a kind of like a skill level up type of pattern for me to work up. So I really love it. This is available for free on their website as well as being in the $1 to $5 paid range. So different options for different folks, and I love that. So this is, again, the Evidence of Hope bookmark, our last pattern in the bookmark portion of this roundup by Kirsten Holloway. The very, very last category in this Mother's Day pattern roundup, if you've made it this far, amazing. If you've jumped around with my bookmarks in the video, good for you, because I would have done the same thing. This is called the flowers category. Now, flowers come in many different types of projects. You can either have a flower, like an actual stemmed flower. You could have something that's got flowers on it. You could have something that is, you know, like a fake plant, so they don't feel like they're killing their plants every day because they're too focused on their kids or their family. So this is a great pattern category, I believe. And I will say this in general, all of these pattern categories, I'm only giving you 3 that I found to be the most stimulating for mothers. I think there are so many more out there. Again, like I said, I only went on Ravelry. So if you want to have some ideas on what you could do for Mother's Day, take inspiration from these and go find your own other patterns. Like if you liked, let's say you liked the last category of the bookmarks, but you don't like the ones that I presented, there are so many bookmark categories out there, or so many bookmark... There are so many bookmark patterns out there that would be absolutely fine for what you need as a maker. So I encourage you, take this as a springboard type of video to spark your interest and your ideas for Mother's Day, and go run wild. Go to Etsy, go to Ravelry, go to Ribbler, go to all the major yarn companies. They usually have free patterns on their websites, and usually around this time they are promoting for the next holiday, which is Mother's Day. So there are tons of resources out there. If you cannot find what you like in today's roundup, I do encourage you, forget what I say and just go find your own stuff, because I am just here to kind of spark that creativity. Like I said, this very last category is going to cover flowers in general. Flowers are always associated with Mother's Day, but you don't have to just get flowers from the florist. You can make flowers with yarn and wire. I've done that myself. I had a whole big project. If you want to catch the vlog on how I made my own flower bouquets, please go check that out in my vlog section of my YouTube channel, Once Upon a Skein. It's quite a lovely video if I don't say so myself. And I also cover the full review of one of the patterns that I did work up as well on my latest podcast, Made You Hooked with Bonnie of Woodland Stitchcraft. But I digress. The flower category is a very lovely place to stay when it comes to Mother's Day. It's a quick, sweet gesture type of gift. There is no obligation to using it. It is there to add magic to an environment, and it just says I care without being super wordy. If they are someone that just likes to feel loved, this is a perfect, for those people that are gifts as their love language, this is the perfect type of thing to give them for Mother's Day. So without further ado, let's dive into the 3 different, very different patterns that I have found for you that capture flowers for Mother's Day. We're going very literal with the very first pattern in our roundup. This is actually a flower crochet pattern bundle. This is a 7-in-1 sunflower based flower bundle. This is by Yui Sun. This is in our $11 to $15 range. So this is on the higher end. However, I do have to say, most of the time these stemmed flower patterns require to show you how to use things like wire, how to wrap and use the yarn in a way that you wouldn't normally know how to do if you were an absolute beginner. So there is, even for people that are experienced such as myself, when I made my own stemmed flowers, it was a huge learning curve. It did add some time to making my project, so please keep that in mind. If you were wanting to make a dozen roses for a mother, I would probably allot a lot of time for that if you've never worked up crocheted flowers in this way. So that's my disclaimer, but this is a lovely project. Nothing says I love you like a bouquet of flowers. And when it's one that won't die and they can take the pieces out and arrange them in their own way, in their own little vases, I think this is a really lovely type of project for a Mother's Day gift. So this is really pretty. This is usually working up with, I would say, like a really thin yarn. This is not saying the type of yarn, but it is using a 2.5mm hook. Now, when I worked up my own flowers, I was using a fine weight yarn or a fingering weight yarn or 3-weight yarn. So I think it really just depends on how big you want your flowers to be. I think on a realistic scale, you should probably stay at like a level 2, category 2 of yarn weight or lower, if you could be so bold. Some of these patterns actually use crochet thread. This one doesn't, and this is calling for a 2.5mm hook, which I think is average for flower patterns in this way. This does come with, in the bundle, a pattern for a sunflower, the ranunculus, a color change rose, ooh, that could be fun, a little ombre rose, lily of the valley, carnation, and then it gives you a little bit of greenery with eucalyptus leaves, and then baby's breath. We all love good baby's breath. Timeless classic flowers here. You, like I said, you could buy the bundle. Maybe your mother that you're gifting this for, their favorite flower is maybe like the sunflower. So you could just take the sunflower portion of this bundle, save the rest of the patterns for later, and then you can always have something to pull from, like your own personal ebook of flowers, and make your own. And I think this is a really great investment if you are someone that likes to go back into your patterns throughout the years. I am one of those people. I always go back to patterns I have before looking into another pattern because I have bought many in my time. But a really pretty way to say I love you for Mother's Day is a crochet bouquet. And you could also do something even more fun with this. Now, here's my idea. If I were to make a flower bouquet for one person, what I probably would do is I would probably grab some really, really pretty paper to cover the flowers and to group them together. I would buy this person or thrift this for this person a really pretty classy looking vase that they can later use for actual real flowers. And then I would stuff a little handwritten letter into the vase because it's not going to get wet because there's no water with crochet flowers, but just put like a little love letter for that mother inside the little like bouquet and call it a day. And that's it. You can even repurpose vases in your house. This is something like, I know we repurpose in gift bags, but what about a vase? Like, how many times, I mean, if you are someone like me, like a normal mom, and you see some at the grocery store and it comes in its own little vase, well, after the flowers die, what are you doing with that vase? It's going back in your closet. So you can totally take one from your own closet and pay it forward with your crochet flowers. And I think this could be a really great way to add some magic to your own project. So 7-in-1 sunflower based crochet flower bundle by Yui Sun. This is a lovely pattern. I hope you look for things like this because this I think could be really special. This next pattern is really cool. Now, the reason I would not make this is because I'm not a blanket person. However, I know if I would be gifted this, I would probably shed a tear because it is so lovely. This pattern I think broke the internet when I first saw it. I was seeing it all over the place. It came out in October of 2024. This is the Enchanted Rose Bouquet blanket. So how this thing goes is when you go ahead and roll it up, you have a flower bouquet. When you open it, you have a blanket. And it's so pretty, and there's like some really nice mosaic work, so you have like leaves in there in the patterning. It's a circle, it's easy to work up because it's just going around and around and around, and it ends with these beautiful roses on the end. It is such a brilliant concept. I love this. This is a very different type of pattern than most people would work. If you have worked up this kind of like flower edged blanket, let me know in the comments down below. How did you enjoy the project with this? Was this fun? How long did it take you? I feel like something like this for me, if I were to really go at it and it would be one of my main whips, this would probably take me at least 3 weeks to a month to finish. Now let's look at the stats for this. This is in the $6 to $10 paid pattern range. I believe that is absolutely justified. This is using Bernat blanket yarn as the suggested yarn, which I actually am kind of surprised at because I totally thought this was a medium weight yarn. So actually this might work up a lot faster than I had anticipated. This is available in baby and throw sizes. So you can make it for a smaller size, even for like a baby shower, maybe for the mom to be, a blanket for them and the baby while they're nursing or, you know, just having rocking chair time. This does use a lot of blanket yarn. So keep that in mind. This is one that uses a hefty amount of yarn, but you know, if you're willing to divulge and go ahead and buy it, or maybe you just want to use scrap green yarn that you have, that could be really cool. You could double strand medium weight yarn to achieve that gauge. I guarantee you. I think that actually could be a really easy solution. This is using an 8mm hook and a 6mm hook. So I'm assuming the 6mm hook is for the flowers and the 8mm hook is for the blanket part of the pattern. Let's read the description here. The Enchanted Roses Bouquet blanket is a circle blanket pattern with 3D stems, flowers embedded within the circle, and a rose trim. The crochet pattern includes hand-drawn crochet stitch charts, photo references, several comprehensive video tutorials, and tips and tricks. You can work this blanket as a baby or throw blanket. Wonderful, I love that. Oh, and then they also go on to say, want to make this in thinner yarn and keep the same dimensions? The thinner version of the pattern will probably come out sometime in 2025. Pattern design and testing takes a while. Thank you for your patience. That's great, something to look forward to. This is by Not Fast Fashion. I love that name. That is a great name. Love your name, Not Fast Fashion. Pauline C, I love it, I love it. Beautiful, beautiful pattern. And this was in the hot right now category, and it is definitely a hot right now. They have other patterns too on this category as well. They have Enchanted Daisy Bouquet blanket, or maybe you could even just take the main blanket portion and then jerry rig your own flowers to go on the edge of it. So the sky's the limit, or you can intermix flowers on the edge. Oh, there's so many things you could do with this, but a really beautiful pattern. Pulling in at the second pattern in our Mother's Day roundup for flowers. The very last pattern in the flower category and the very last pattern in this Mother's Day roundup is a lovely one. This is the Dahlia in a Flower Pot. This is in the $1 to $5 pattern range. This, I think in general, is a great idea. We've seen the succulents, we've seen all kinds of things like the hanging potted plants and things like that in crochet patterns, but I think a simple singular flower in a flower pot is so pretty. I am someone, I don't know about you guys, but dishes just never end for me. And it's because I do a lot of cooking from home and I'm doing a lot of standing at my sink, staring out the window into the backyard. Thankfully I have a nice view, but sometimes I'm just tired of that same old view. So it would be really nice to be able to have something to look at within my little dish area. And I think this could be so pretty, or this could be nice for someone's desk at work, or this could be nice in general for just like in their bathroom. You don't have to water it. You don't have to worry if it's wilting, if it's got enough oxygen, sunlight, nothing. This is a great pattern for the mom that wants nice things but doesn't want to have another responsibility added to her plate. Not all of us have the green thumb. I have it when I can remember about it, but I definitely killed my fair share of plants in the past. Sorry, plant moms. I am a human mom and not a plant mom anymore. So plants are lower on my list of priorities, but I still like having flowers. So this is a great way to add magic to this mom's life by including a flower in a pot in their Mother's Day gift. This is using an Aran weight yarn. This is using Cotton Aran by Paintbox Yarns, which they have a great range in colors, and a hook size of 2.75 millimeter, a C hook. So a very tight tension. This is probably more of an amigurumi style pattern. So if you're not into stuff like that, this is probably not the pattern for you, but this seems to be an intermediate level pattern. That is what they say here. Really, really sweet. This is in the $1 to $5 range. So a very affordable pattern if you feel like investing in this. I think this is a great way to end our roundup today. This is our last pattern. This is the Dahlia in a flower pot, a very sweet little pattern, and the last one in our roundup today. I hope you guys have had fun in this pattern roundup today for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all women out there that are moms, for people that spend a lot of time taking care of littles and bigs as well, because everybody needs their mom. I hope you have enjoyed today's pattern roundup. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe for future magical content, and I hope you all have a creative day, adding magic to your stitches in your own way. And as an added bonus, I did chat a little bit more about Mother's Day gifts in my recent live video here on YouTube with Bonnie of Woodland Stitchcraft, so please go ahead and check out that live video. It is super fun. The replay is always super fun as well. I hope to see you there. Have a creative day, adding magic to your stitches in your own way, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Oh, hold on, let me do my, oh gosh. You stay over there, play your game. We love for free. Oh, you gotta go pee pee? Do you need some juice? Which I know is a very popular. Do you have to go poopy? My poor shoulders. Okay, good job. Go pee pee or poopy. Anthony. Anthony, you better stay over there. Lufas. Oh my gosh. Let me try this again. Go sit in your tent. Go in your spaceship. How do I not know this? Go sit on the couch, please. Which is a great yarn. I have Anthony Michael of those like they look like brains.